This is Robert Forsch with An Eternal Perspective. I believe ultimately that the Bible gives a perspective that is valuable for all of eternity. That's why I do what I do. I do this because I'm handing out an invitation for eternity, a perspective that I believe you can enjoy. If you're a child of God, you'll absolutely be born again. If that happens for you, that's for sure, and that is forever. So right now I'm at the Cherry Grove Pier, a few miles from where I live, and you can see that it's foggy. And I suspect that when I get home, it won't be foggy there. And one of the reasons for that is we've got a wind out of the southwest that's putting a lot of warmth in the air here. That convergence with cooler air out over the ocean is what gives us the fog. Temperature differentials drive the water cycle of the world. We get the evaporation, condensation, precipitation in all its forms: rain, snow, sleet, fog, hail. Do you know how much a gallon of water weighs? That depends. Depends on the temperature. That temperature variant causes the expansion and contraction of the water. Temperature changes volume and density of water. Does the shape of the earth matter? Well, does the truth matter? Water is a natural level. I'm at the ocean. The water seeks level covers the face of the stationary earth. There's substantial proof for the non-movement of the earth and the exposing the reality that NASA lies. Been doing it for years, talking about it. Actually proving that reality. So I'm going to take us for a drive back home. It's going to be a short broadcast. I just wanted to show you that a little distance of travel and what happens to the weather and the perspective. So we can't see through much fog. Maybe you've experienced that personally. I know I have. I've had friends that have died in fog because of driver error. One of the things that I want to talk about is how will artificial intelligence work in fog? How will it work in an area like this where I've seen black ice and it was 50 degrees out? Yeah, because of a very interesting temperature differential and quick change with sunshine and shade in different areas. It caused vehicle accidents and all that. Black ice at 50, in the 50-degree mark. It lasted for a little while. So this is not a green screen. I'm not in a studio per se. I'm in a mobile broadcast studio, the Lexus LS 400. It's a 94. It's classic. It's been seen about 40 million times or so through the different venues that I've been seen and heard sharing, I believe, the truth of the reality of the world that we live in. That the earth is non-moving, it's stationary and level. I'm going to make a quick pull in here and show you kind of an interesting dynamic. So I've got video where you can see the ocean from here. And part of the dynamic in seeing these porta toilets around was that we don't have toilet water flying out on people in Australia because of gravity. It's just water seeking its level. I can see the tracks of the pumping truck down there below, and Liquid Money came by and pumped them out. It's just what they do. So we have differences in density and the mass of those items. Atmosphere, air, nitrogen, oxygen, all of that is the composition of what we're breathing in. and that will support a helium balloon without any problem, a hot air balloon. And the water will support wood. It'll support steel that's filled with concrete and more steel. You can look at the massive ships that travel the oceans of the world. I highlighted when cruises go bad. You know, you go on a a mega multi-million dollar ship, and you go on a cruise. And I'm telling you, when you get in rough seas, there's some video. Rough seas, the cruise ship was hitting the ground, hitting the bottom of the ocean. Rough seas, you can't just put lifeboats out there and be just fine. I mean, capsized and crushed, and they had broken glass in the cruise ships and in the cruise ship, and people were getting cut up. And you don't want to get into cold water with blood in the water. There's shark around. It's all kind of interesting. Here we've got a propane truck coming at us. That Ford's propane a couple years ago, the place blew up, shook the neighborhoods for miles. Propane boils at like 30 below zero. Yeah, did you know that? Pretty interesting stuff. It'll freeze skin instantly. Dry ice will freeze skin instantly. Dry ice is frozen carbon dioxide, and it will reach temperatures of 100 below zero. They can freeze it to. It'll burn your skin instantly. What we don't know can kill us, without a doubt. Without a doubt. I've got my cooler there causing me too much white in the shot. There we go. That's better. So the idea here is that already we see the fog dissipating. We had like 12, 13, 14 mile an hour winds last night out of the southwest. It means that it was blowing over water that was reasonably warm, comparatively speaking, to the Midwest. I mean, it was, you know, in the 50s, the water was. And then when the cold air that blew out over the ocean converges with the evaporation, we get the fog. It's a temperature inversion. Had one of the people said he showed the sun above the clouds in one of the flat Earth videos. He said, "How about this?" He put that on my flat Earth video, the one that's local sun, and I hashtagged Robert Forsch. He can look at it if he wants. I'm not all angry with him, and I couldn't put my playlist there. If you hashtag local sun, you'll see a lot of my content. If you hashtag Robert Forsch, you'll find thousands of occurrences of my activity over the years. I put it there unashamedly. I put my phone number out there. You can call me if you want, anytime. Text me if you want. I'm not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth. How about that? Isn't that special? Yeah, there's people that would like to kill me. Too bad. Good luck with that. Can't touch me unless God says it's time for me to come on home. I'm going over the Intracoastal Waterway right now. And this is a line of demarcation. A lot of temperature change happens right at this point at the waterway. So you can't see real good there. The sun is burning through behind now. It's just kind of the way that it works. We get on the other side of this bridge in front of the hospital, and there should be a lot more clear. Already you can see quite a change. That's why I'm doing this. It's the reality of the world we live in. Is it true? Whatever it is that you want to know about. And that's why I do this. I want people to make an educated choice on the truth, on the reality. One of the highest viewed videos by TED Talks was Steve Jobs talking to Stanford University about his bout with cancer, and the doctor found that it was a treatable cancer, that that he could cure, that it was curable. Well, unfortunately, we know the rest of the story, that that cancer wasn't cured, and he transitioned. He went on. Let's show you this now. It's a lot clearer. Now that I'm actually born again, I have power to do what I previously couldn't do. And I get to do what I want pretty much all the time because I'm simply delighting myself in the Lord, acknowledging Him, and He gives me the desires of my heart. He puts them there. He is the way, the truth, and the life, the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, knowing the end from the beginning. So that's why I'm not afraid. That's a new life in Christ. Neuroplasticity is a neurological term for the renewing of the mind. It's awesome. Awesome. Being set free from a life of addiction, a life of depression and manic depression. Wow. That's why I'm unapologetically sharing what I do, exposing the reality of the world that we live in. I've met a lot of people that struggled with drug addiction and they're dead. They struggled with success and they're dead. They made a lot of money, did a lot of stuff, had a lot of fun, and they're dead. Where are they? Well, their body stopped working. Where is their soul? So that's the bottom line on this. What will it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not handing out an invitation for priesthood and celibacy and misery and chastity and oh, what a bummer. He was such a fun guy. And then he became a Christian and he's just a miserable man. No, that's not what happened to me. I thought I was born again in 1982 until I actually was in 2014. The change was so significant, I wanted to tell everybody. I wanted to tell people that basically you can think you're born again and not be. That happened to me. So there you go. That can totally happen. Flip this around again. So now we've got clear blue skies, started out in the fog. So the difficulties in the world that we live in is kind of like some of the fog for the eternal perspective. There's a lot of distraction, a lot of deception. People get bummed out. They seek to find ways to make themselves happy. I did it. I lived a life for self-effort, through self-effort, self-pleasure, and I was miserable. And tried pleasing others, it didn't work. Tried pleasing myself, it really didn't work. And then when I was given a love for the truth, I wanted to know if I was born again, why am I struggling so much? Well, I found out I was a dead man walking and did not know it. Now, the truth isn't based on popular opinion. It's not popular and it's not an opinion. It just is. The truth about everything just is. There's not my truth, your truth, and his truth, their truth. No, there's the truth. Now, people can have what they believe about it, and it may be accurate or inaccurate, but the truth about something it is. And then we all have our own perspective on what we believe the truth is, because ultimately, by definition, if we believe something, we believe it to be true. Otherwise, we believe it's a deception. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, it is. And it's really interesting being me, being the me that gets to share what I found with anybody who's interested, anybody at all. And that's what I do. Now look at clear and sunny. It's just the way that it is. Yeah, how about that? And my app let me know that that was going to be kind of the indicator. My weather app that the clouds were going to be breaking up, and they did. There's a different perspective. The system that we have with radar and weather projection, weather modification. You can hashtag weather wars. There's particulate that's being added to the air, the atmosphere, in the form of geoengineering. If somebody says, do you believe in global warming? Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you about it. Their artificial intelligence is injecting and spraying nanoparticles of aluminum, strontium, barium, and more. And that's special, and more biological agents to modify the gene pool. Then we get all that water cycle of the world moving those nanobots around, and yeah, they can cause impairment, cognitive impairment, brain impairment, and physiological impairment. Actually, really mess people up. We've got Wi-Fi, 5G, and cell towers all over the place, and we are electrically operated in that we have an electrical system that helps our body to function, causes the heart to beat. If you need to have a defibrillatory, let me say that again, a defibrillator. You need to be defibrillated. You need to have your heart restarted. I'm going to post a video that'll probably get a copyright strike. It's called The Withering by Jocko. It was a heart beating. You could hear it. You could hear the heart beating, and then it flatlined. Yeah, how about that? I've been there when people flatline. It's painful. Painful, painful, painful. You don't just randomly walk in and have a seat when somebody is failing. From what I understand, I flatlined. 2005, I took a sleeping pill overdose. Wanted to check out. Since it's all about Jesus, I just wanted to go and live with him and be done with this earth. There's a bit of sarcasm there. It's about the truth, is what it is. If I would have killed myself then, I wouldn't have gone to heaven. The reality is, I couldn't have killed myself then because I wasn't born again yet. It's a bit of a conundrum. I was destined to do what I'm doing right now. That is an absolute trip to consider. Let that sink in a little bit. There's determinism, meaning predestination, and then there's people that just believe they can do whatever they want. How's that working for you, wherever you are and whatever you're doing? I don't know. Blue skies, right? Bit of wind out of the southwest. So how would a jet be able to have satellite internet? Think about it. I've got $100 million jets, private jets featured on my channel. So do you think a jet flying 500 miles an hour has a dish on it like that, that's shooting southwest with the proper azimuth continually recorrecting? Or does it make more sense that there's a firmament, a structure up above the earth that they bounce frequencies off of? I vote for the second. I believe there's a firmament. Yeah, absolutely. There's a firmament above the face of the stationary and level earth. Keep in mind there would be no plumb or level on a spinning water ball hurling through space. This is reflecting right there, right now. Not anymore with that little cloud that moved in there. We can see it's tipped. The water seeks level. That's the amount of being out of level. Now we got the reflection back again. See that? So it'll bounce off of my wall and then go up on the ceiling inside because the sun is going to do this. It's going to do this. Now in the summertime, see, the sun came up over there today, and then it's going to do this, and it's going to drop right back there. In the summertime, it came up over there, and then it did this. It's just what it did. It's the reality of the world that we live in. Water seeks level, covers the face of the earth, doesn't stick to a spinning ball, a stationary ball. We ain't moving. We don't live on a ball. A lot of people believe we do. All of our interaction with water. I'm back. Yeah, here's what happened. I forgot to deactivate my Wi-Fi on my phone. So when I got close to my house, it tried reconnecting, and then I drop my signal. So I'm going to show you something. I've been hit by lightning. Our son was hit by lightning. There was a close strike to the house somewhere over there, and it went in through the electrical system. He was holding a game controller, and it shocked him. There is a power panel right there. It's got a rod that's driven into the ground. If you electrify the ground, you can electrify the whole power system of the house. You got a smart meter in California, and you can go ahead and set subdivisions on fire. That happened. You can look at it. Look at the California wildfires. You can believe whatever the heck you want to believe. I just prefer the truth about that. Here's the gallons of, got a gallon of water, ultraviolet light hits it, and it adds purification to it. It's reverse osmosis carbon filtered, solar activated. It warms it up and it expands it. So when I fill this up at 70 degrees, bring it out here in the summertime, by the end of the day when it cools down, about a half an ounce of water, about a 0.5% change in the density. The reason ice floats is because it expands the molecular structure. That's just what it does. I don't know if Joni's going to be up, and probably, but I don't know that she wants to be on the camera, so I'll do it like this. Oh, I put this here. If somebody has a package they want to call me, ta-dun-dun, that can happen, just like that. Hey, baby, I've got a recording going, but I'm not showing you. I'm showing me. What's that? Yeah, it's live. I'm live on YouTube. Okay, so this is one of the things that I do. I put the water in the jugs there because this little water tank isn't going to have me enough water to take a good, nice bath. So when it overflows, and it will, it'll go into the washing machine. I'm putting a tablespoon of borax and baking soda in my water for putting my exfoliating gloves in. It'll kill any body fungus that would accumulate on there. This water here takes me about a day to make 50 gallons of water or so. That's just the way that works. So this is a beautiful, relaxing music video. It's on my channel. It's the Relaxation Network. This is one level right there. You can see that. So one of the things that I did is I put it on my, I'll put it right over here. So you can see this is outside the window. Put that right there, and that'll seek level. It looks like the window ledge is a little high on the left side. So I lift it up a little bit, and it'll center. It's just the way it is. So the sun is going to be shining on the water there. It is. And then it'll, in a little bit, it'll shoot through over there. There it is. It's up on the ceiling there. And then the sun will move. Now today, in December, it's going to shoot right on over there. So the reality is that the truth is not afraid of investigation at all. Not at all. There's the truth, and then there's everything else. There's a whole lot of everything else about that in that special. I encourage people to go ahead and take a closer look at things, investigate a little further, look at it again. Look at it again, see what you come up with. Is it true? Whatever you believe, is it true? So when I get up, maybe at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, yesterday I gave myself a haircut at like 2 in the morning with a Flowbee. I want to show you something here. It's kind of interesting. It removed a complication. It's a connection of a vacuum cleaner and then a precision hair cutting system. It pulls the hair with the vacuum and precision cuts it. It's awesome. And then to finish that up, I'll use this, kind of nice. So here's part of the thing. There's tools to do what we do, and there's some tools that do things better than others. So I can either dry off with a towel, or I could use this, which I do. The water goes in the skin and into the atmosphere. I've weighed myself with a digital scale before and after a bath. I may gain or lose 7 to 10 pounds, depending on my level of hydration. The plants put a lot of oxygen in the air that I breathe in the house here. It's all part of the deal. All part of the deal. One of the things that I did not know until about 5 years ago is with the evaporation of moisture and condensing on like my leather coat that was hanging in the litter box area, the scoopable cat litter turns into like a cement it was on my coat. What was that all about? Well, these now are pine pellets that work great. They're a fraction of the cost, and they're environmentally healthy. Or for me, the cats smells good, house smells fresh. That's all part of the deal. What ended up happening with the scoopable is it's a chemical that binds itself with the water and turns into a cementous type consistency. I've got a friend who died a few years ago because his lungs uh, had like a concrete in them and they stopped working. Then I've got friends that smoke. I've got friends that vape. I used to smoke, vape, drink vodka, and more. I don't want to do any of that anymore. That's the point of that. So, where in the world could a wind chime hang upside down? Let me flip it around. We don't have wind chimes hanging upside down anywhere except in the imagination. So, to think about it, think about, I do know that they've got things they call satellites. Satellites, it's a signal. It's like if you have a different signal that you're paying for, somebody's got a unique uh, signal they're projecting on the dome, on the firmament. Yeah, yeah. How about that? It's the way it works. Just think, how in the world, if I move my camera just a teeny little bit, that changes where the location, how everything looks. Does it really seem possible that you could have geosynchronous satellites whirling around the spinning water ball and that connect to something the size of a pickup truck to get my direct TV? Come on, folks, use your analytical critical thinking. So this video isn't for everybody. Some people love me, some people love to hate on me. Because I'm a Bible believer, a lot of people will say, it's a Fruit Loop. He's a conspiracy theorist. He's one of those whack jobs, crazy people. Oh, well. And then I've got people that I'm connected with that think, oh, he's all about conspiracies. He says he loves Jesus, but he's not doing a whole lot with that anymore. He's just talking about conspiracies. I saw the light hitting the window. Yeah, that's the reflection of that. It's all the symmetry and the way that it works. Well, I've been mandated to expose the deeds of darkness. You could check it out in Ephesians. That's what we're supposed to do. That's what I'm supposed to do. Expose the deeds of darkness, proclaim the gospel. It's happening on my channel. It can happen on your channel. You could write Bible.com or Bible.is and hand it to somebody. Wow, a big bird just landed in there. May not be true. Okay, so I told you about it reconnecting to my Wi-Fi in my house. Yeah, what I'm gonna do now that I'm reconnected, I've got to try and. All right, it says I'm live again. Okay, so I went to my settings and I turned off my Wi-Fi. So effectively, I disconnected from that. So part of the frustration that there are things we can't know. There are things I can't know. To be intellectually honest, I don't know what I don't know. And I'm not using words I don't know the meanings to. Okay. And when I tell you I know we're not on a globe, I've got proof of that. I know we don't live on a globe yet. There's a lot of people that will believe that they do. Doesn't make it true. So there was a large crane that flew down here. Because this is in a lower area, it'll seek level. Oh, it looks like Walter, my rescue turtle over there. He just went underwater. He was going to drown in a storm drain because he couldn't get out when Hurricane Florence hit us. Yeah, he just went under. We've got bullfrogs out here too, but I have a video where I put Walter, the rescue turtle, in the backyard pond here. Water like this could flush a toilet really good. I've got water I can drink through a life straw. This I could drink through a life straw. That would be fine. What does that have to do with anything? Well, I would encourage you to have some contingency plans to, spend 20 bucks, get a life straw or something like that that you can drink pond water. You can desalinate water. I've got a ocean over there. Now, there is talk about tsunami hitting us. We've had tsunami warnings. Oh, and by the way, they are putting advertisements for people to be hired for disarmament. Yeah, is that a psychological operation? Well, yes, and it may actually go live, and they may take weapons like they did for Hurricane Katrina. There's coming a day when nobody can buy or sell without the mark of the beast. Think that's going to get a little ugly in your local hometown Walmart when people are trying to get food? Yeah, how about that? So I'm encouraging people to get practical provisions so that when the when the excrement hits the rotating oscillator, you're good to go. Or when the shit hits the fan, yeah, the shice. How about that? So this is a heat pump right here. I talked about it the other day. Now, hose like this doesn't work when it's froze, so I'm not worried about it now. The temperature differential created in here will draw moisture out of the air and cool the house down or warm it up. If you take plumbing, like flexible tubing, and bury it like 10 feet underground, which they do for geothermal, and then combine it with a heat pump or some other type of device, you can cut your energy bill in half. How about that? This house has got strand board in it, oriented strand board. There's steel reinforced panel construction. EVG out of Austria made the panels. I've seen the machines. I've been in a factory where they were being made. AT&T used those steel reinforced panels and put concrete on them, 9,000 psi concrete. It's ballistically rated, so even some of the heavy weapons won't go through it. 3 inches on an inside and outside of the steel reinforced insulated concrete panel will withstand over 250 miles of wind. It won't burn up and it won't blow over, and earthquakes won't take it down. It's virtually indestructible. That again reduces the energy consumption by about half. There's some of the weather modification that I've talked about, and I showed it at nighttime with a high intensity light shooting up in the sky at night, and you can see all the particulate going around. Those are the nanoparticles, nanobots, weather modification. Aluminum is conductive. You don't want it. I don't want it in the air that I breathe. I don't want it in my deodorant, so I use baking soda water. How about that? Coconut oil on my skin. Give me that youthful appearance. I've had people say, "I would just love to wipe that smile off your face, your arrogant face." Good luck with that. Good luck with that. So one of the reasons why I do this is because I care. Even the people that are hating on me, if they got the upgrade the way that I did, I believe they'd be happy about what I'm doing. Where in the world can a wind chime hang upside down anywhere? Only in the imagination. That's what I told Rich from the London Guardian. This car was at the Dallas Flat Earth Conference. It was inside there. I had a globe on top with an inflatable plastic globe and then a big whiskey uh, glass that had flat water in it. I had an interesting demonstration table with my computer. They didn't talk about the computer. They showed the water and the seashells and all that. That's all true too. The weapon of mass instruction that I'm using is the technology, not just mine but others. So there's 4,700 videos on my liked videos playlist that has tens of millions of occurrences of it out there. Isn't that special? It is. It is. It's special because it's the reality of the world that we live in. Now, in the context of that, I am also letting people see by their own words when somebody is talking about what I believe are very unbiblical perspectives, rather than me just talk about what they're saying, I'll let you hear it from them if you want to. That's how I roll. So if you're wondering if I've abandoned my primary mission of sharing the gospel, I would say no, no, not at all, not at all. There's this me and then the digital me. Oh, wait, that's all you're seeing is the digital me. Let's see all the people that are seeing me in real time right now, real time, face to face. Where's my makeup crew? Where's my grip? Where are my grips, my camera guys? I'm the guy. I'm the guy that does this. So yesterday, when I went to the beach, a whole group of high school students locally said they love my channel. They wanted to take pictures with me, and that was all good. I'm glad we were able to do that. We've got the spring breaks coming up, and I'll have plenty of stickers for people to have them. They put them on their phones and other places too. It's kind of funny. When I'm out here, like detailing the car or doing lawn work or organizing the garage. I don't do much organizing of the garage. What I was going to say is there will be hundreds of people a day that drive through here. So let's do this from the front yard. In the summer, the sun comes up there and does this. Got video of it. Today in the winter, December the 3rd, the sun came up over there and it's going to do this. It's based on perspective. So I'm going to be clear, how far can we, so when I'm looking at the sun in the clouds, I'll turn it around like at the ocean, how far can we see? So I've seen the moon, I've got the video of the moon up here. I was right here. I don't know which video it is exactly. It's on my channel. It was a couple months ago. The moon was right there and a jet flew right apparently in front of it at about the 7-second mark and drew a little bit of the moon with it. I'm not kidding. It's the light from the moon followed it. I don't know if it's just a camera thing. I don't know how it works. So the how far away is the moon? It's pretty local, just like the local sun, the local moon. So when you're looking down on the horizon, how far can we see out? Well, I was able to see the moon. We're able to see the sun right now. Okay. So they're able to see it in probably they can probably see it in California right now, the sun. And California is right over there, about 2,700 miles away. How about that? So And the sun is going to set back there at like 5:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got time zones, standard daylight savings times. We've got all kinds of stuff going on. Right now, the gain from the sun, the energy from the sun right now has a bit of clouds in front of it. We get more solar gain in the wintertime because of less humidity than we do in the summertime, even though it's closer. Lower is further away. So when the person said, the sun's above the clouds now, well, it's okay. So let me show you something. Straight up, that's no problem. These jet trails, how tall are they? How tall is that? That looks like a couple thousand feet. I know jets fly. We're at 37,000 feet. Please buckle. You can unbuckle your seatbelts now. Yeah, we're leveling out. They normally say we're leveling out. Think about it. Listen for it. Listen, listen. Pay attention. Come on, class is in session. Okay, so we're leveling out at 37,000 feet. We'll be in LA in about 5.5 hours. Keep in mind the plane time, the time in the air, be in a nonstop flight. The time flying at cruising level is the same in either direction. How's that possible on a spinning ball, folks? It's not. Doesn't have to be. The Earth doesn't move. The imagination moves. By irony and paradox, the deceived don't know they're deceived. Isn't that special? Pride is a powerful catalyst for deception. Am I confident about what I'm talking about? Absolutely. I know we're not on a globe. That's not even possible. That's as ridiculous as Santa Claus flying in his freaking reindeer pulled sled to deliver a lump of coal or your wish list. I saw Santa on radar flying over Lake Michigan when I lived in Wisconsin. And then when I found out that same year that it was my parents doing it, then a couple months later, I saw the fake moon landing. Yeah, we just had the 50-year anniversary of that big mind control operation. Yeah, I'm exposing the whole thing. Artificial intelligence is not like a friendly assistant. It's more like the Terminator. I'll be back. I've got that clip on on my channel where Arnold is talking to the my brother did the makeup for Arnold, by the way, just so you know. When he came back to that police station, he was driving a car through the front end of it. Arnold, what a character. So there's a equidistant balance between those, maybe they call him a sundog. I don't know how it works. Works well. Yeah. Siri doesn't know what to do with what I just said. These are unnatural clouds. They work. They can modify massive storms. We have weapons that they can create Fukushima type tsunamis. How about that? I'm about 8 feet above sea level right here. Isn't that nice? I'm good to go. I remember before I was born again, I was just kind of like freaked out about all this stuff. 'Cause I knew about a lot of it. And then when I was born again, the fear went away. I'm not afraid. Greater is he that lives in me than he that lives in this world. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. It's at hand right there. It's attainable. It's reachable. Now, many of you would know Jesus Christ as Jesus Christ. Some would know him as Yeshua, Yahweh, the living word, the living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, all powerful, all knowing, knowing the end from the beginning. So it's not that I just got a little bit smarter because I watched a lot of videos. I have, let me, I want to put this where I'm out of the wind. I have more power. I have power to do what I previously couldn't do and the pleasure to enjoy it all, even though it's really not popular. Telling the truth is not popular. Honey, do you like the way I look in this dress? Oh, yeah, it looks great on you. Now, that's not a big deal. What is a big deal is when the significance of the topic is life changing, life threatening. So even if if I'm sitting in a theater and there's a whole group of people that I don't agree with and somebody yells fire, is that illegal? Well, not if there's a fire. What if they have a little piece of wood that they catch on fire with a lighter and yell fire? Is that illegal? Yeah, probably. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend doing that. So my point is, if there was truly a fire in a building that I was in, even if I disagreed with somebody on a theological issue, a cosmological or social issue, I wouldn't run all that through and say, "Yep, I don't believe you, so I'm not believing you now either." Well, if somebody says, "Hey, it's fire," and you smell smoke, it'd be good to just step on out and figure out the details on that later. So, what I'm reaching into, yeah, you can hear it's moving now. Let me show you. Just earlier in the broadcast, there was almost no wind here. Can you see all the wind? You can't see the wind. You can feel the wind. That's how it works. The Holy Spirit is powerful. It's all powerful, all knowing. He, the Holy Spirit, is all powerful and all knowing. Oh, there you go. Can you see the Holy Spirit? Not so much. You can see what the Holy Spirit does. The reason why I do this is because I was created to do this. I have people that tell me how glad they are that they found me. And then I've got people that aren't so happy. So I'll talk about it now. Again, the little lady that I married, that we were married 30, it'll be like 32 years. It was in 31 years in this upcoming March 20th. And apparently she wants to live in Wisconsin by her son. She sometimes she says, "I can't stand living with you. I gotta go." Other times she asks me to come with her. I don't know. It's one of those things where the reason why I stay here and will stay here, this is a mission field that comes to us. So if I were to go out in Wisconsin, it's a beautiful place. I enjoyed living there. There's 20 million people a year that come here. A lot of them will see the Truth Mobile, and they'll see yours truly, and I'll have the ability to interact with them. I see people taking pictures of this car when I'm driving. They'll be rubbernecking and looking at me, and then I meet people local that say, "Oh, I love your channel." I just so yeah, and I people will say, "Don't your neighbors think you're crazy?" Well, a lot of people think I'm crazy. Remember, the truth sounds crazy to the deceived. Is it true? Whatever it is that you want to know about. So I encourage everybody to seek the truth with all your heart. So, on the finishing up on the my wife leaving me, Joni leaving me, maybe she won't. Maybe maybe God will help open her eyes. I believe divine intervention is required ultimately to love and believe the truth, let alone find it. The gospel is foolishness to those that are perishing. A whole lot of people believe they're born again, and the indication isn't looking good for them. They may never be born again. And we get that evidence in the gospel account of Matthew, where Jesus says on Judgment Day, many are going to say, "Lord, Lord, look at, didn't we drive out demons, work miracles, and prophesy?" And he says, "Away from me, you evildoers, I never knew you." So I was a dead man walking and didn't know it. Then I was born again, and the me that I was died. Where was I in all that? So I've featured Jim Carrey on my channel. Some of what he's saying is very profound. There's a lot of people that say profound things. Some of them will say, "Yeah, take look at it. Whatever you think is true, go with it." I'm not. If I could manifest a car right here by wanting it, there would probably be a Tesla Roadster right here. Well, I don't think I can manifest that Roadster right here. A Tesla. I'd love that. Fastest production car ever. Man, that would make a really interesting truth mobile, wouldn't it? I cracked the glass on this, unfortunately, but I used Gorilla Tape and it's structurally sound right now and it's not leaking. My point is there are people that believe that they can just manifest stuff into being. Well, one of the things that I would say is that because of what I do, my interaction with others has a profound change in some lives, and certainly in mine. I have the deep sense of satisfaction and the reward for that from God. I'm so grateful for that. That's largely why I do it. Why do we do what we do? Because we want to. How about that? We want to do it normally. Sometimes we do what we don't want to do, but we really wanted to go to work because we didn't want to be homeless and starving, right? Or something like that. We didn't really want to, like in a battle situation, didn't really want to shoot that other person, but they were shooting at me. I had to. So, war is criminal. It's unfortunate that we live in a world that's got so much deception that precedes the act of war and the enslavement of humanity with that war machine that serves the banking community and the richest people in the world that create money out of thin air. They don't want they've got all the money they need. They want the control. It's a control thing. That's what it's all about. They want control of everything, including what you think, what you say, what the public opinion is, so that people will just go along with it. If you step out of line on any of this stuff, like vaccines or the events of 9/11, 2001, or the the gender identity of somebody that appears to be one gender but doesn't appear to be that same gender to people that know that, hey, many of the A-listers are in Hollywood aren't the gender they're presenting. So I've got a lot of content for people to love and hate. That's how I roll. I encourage everybody to seek the truth with all your heart because it matters for eternity. This is Robert Forsch with The Truth.